Hi, everybody. So we spoke yesterday about about linear gradients in Canvas, and today we just want to quickly go over radial gradients. So let's just cut right to it. Before we do anything, please do the Google form for the attendance. Just try to make that a habit because a lot of you guys skip out on that, and it's really important that you do it. All right. Join the Discord, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Oops. So here we have our canvas. You see I gave you some CSS classes, bordered and centered, and red to make the background color red, because I just want to reinforce that this canvas is translucent. All right, in order to make it so that we have a white background on that, we have to set our fill style to white. And just draw a fill rect from the top left corner of 0, 0. That is the width and height of the canvas. Okay, so we have this. Let me just zoom in one time so that it's easier to see. Yeah, so we have this, our canvas. What I want to show you today is how to draw radial gradients, all right? And we're first going to do it with a couple of circles. First, I'm going to set the fill style to, let's set it to green, just temporarily, so that we have something that we could use to see our shapes. And I'm going to create a new path, so begin path, ctx dot close path, ctx dot stroke, and ctx dot fill. All right, and inside this path, I'm going to draw a arc, specifically a circle. So that one's going to be at 100, 100, which is the center of my canvas over there. And I'm going to make it radius, let's just say 50. And since I want it to be a circle, it needs to go from 0 to 2 pi. So 0 to 2 times math dot pi. All right. And so we should get this green circle right here. All right. And now today we're talking about radial gradients. If you recall from when we were doing gradients in CSS, uh, I think we went over radial gradients. We might not have. If not, then hey, we're talking about radial gradients. But basically, a radial gradient, it doesn't go along a line like the linear gradient that we did yesterday, but instead it goes between two circles. All right. So if you have two concentric circles, which is a typical setup, the gradient will radiate outwards. Or if you have two circles that are not concentric, it will radiate from one circle to the next. Um, let's so let's do that here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to say, all right, let's create, we'll say a new variable. We'll just call this one gradient1, but you can call it whatever you would like. I'm going to say ctx dot create radial gradient. All right, and I'm just going to fill this in, and then I'll actually post a little bit of notes for you guys right above it, so it's understandable. We're going to start with concentric, so I'll do this at 100, 100, 5. Let's make it 10, and 100, 100, 50. All right, and it goes like this. All right, so when we use create radial gradient, what that does is it takes two triples, all right, x1, y1, r1, and x2, y2, r2, where this first triple is the x and y coordinate of the center and the radius of one circle, and the second triple is the x and y coordinate of the center and radius of the second circle. All right. So when we have this here that says var gradient 1, create radial gradient 100, 110, and 100, 150, what that's saying is create a radial gradient that radiates from this small circle that's in the center of our page that has a radius of 10. So that's, we haven't actually drawn that, but that's inside our shape right here, to 100, 150, which is that larger circle that we just drew. All right. Now, just like in our previous gradient, in order to add colors to this, we just need to add a color stop. So I'll say gradient 1 dot add color stop. And again, this will go from 0 to 1, where 0 is going to be that first circle that you defined by that first triple, and 1 will be the location of that second triple. So let's do that. So I'll say 0. Let's make this first one, let's just make it red. Gradient 1 dot add color stop at 1. Let's just make it blue. All right, and then all I have to do is for fill style, set it equal to gradient 1. And now this fill function will fill it in with a radial gradient. And you'll see it has this circle of red in the middle that then radiates outward and slowly becomes blue towards the end over there. Okay. And again, you could pause up, a previous time to see those notes that are up there. All right, so what I want to do real quick is I actually just want to show you, I'll just copy these lines because that's all that I really need. I don't need to fill it again. I'm just going to grab this, this begin path, close path, arc, and stroke, and I'm just going to change this 50 to a 10 so that I could outline that inner circle where that red starts, right? So it radiates from this circle to that outer one. And that's really all it does. All right. Now, just like the linear gradients, you can also put other color stops along the way. So, for example, if I wanted to go halfway, I could say add color stop 0.5. And here I could make a color stop, let's make it green. And so now you should see it goes from red to radiates to green to radiates to blue. And again, if I just copied this set of 4 lines over here that define a circle, halfway between 50 and 10, if you can guess it, put that in for the radius. And if you couldn't guess it, it's 30. It's not really guess, it's just, figure that out. And you'll see now that that line defines where that deepest bit of green was. All right, because that's that halfway point, that's where that new color stop is, that's where we have the most prominent green before it radiates outward to the other colors. All right, now I showed you guys this using circles, but that's not necessarily all you can put radial gradients in. For example, I could put it in any shape I wanted. So uh, I know you guys spent a lot of time typing this out. If you really, really, really want to keep those circles, be my guest. But I do want to show you uh, that you can put it in other shapes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually begin a new path over here. I just got rid of everything below ctx dot close path and ctx dot fill ctx dot stroke. All right, and I'm just going to draw a series of lines. You can see that inside that you still get that same radial gradient. All right, I'm going to start off at let's say ctx dot move to 60 60. All right, then I'm going to, what I'm doing here is I'm drawing a trapezoid. All right, and I'm going to start with that top horizontal line. So I'm going to go from 60 60 to 140 60. And you can tell that that's a horizontal line because we change the x coordinate, but we don't change the y coordinate. All right, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, all right, let's do ctx dot line 2. Let's bring it to 180, 140. That will be a diagonal line like this because we're moving 20 units in the X and 80 units down in the Y. Then I'm going to go back across horizontally again. So I'll say ctx.line2. In this case, we're moving our X, but our Y will stay the same. And then the closed path will finish up that shape for us. So you should get this trapezoid, and you'll see the radial gradient works here as well. Since this is a larger shape, if you wanted, you could also change the radius of that larger uh, circle. So instead of making it go to 50, I could make it go to 80, for example. And now you'll see that it radiates out more largely, and that this green ring is actually farther out because the halfway point between 10 and 80 is, much farther apart. It's 45, So it used to be that the that inner ring had a radius of 30, but now it has a radius of 45. All right, so that's radial gradients. I hope you had fun with that. You can you know what? Draw the trapezoid and submit it with the trapezoid in it. And usual spiel. If you haven't already, join our Discord and do the attendance form. All right, guys. It's been great seeing you. Happy Tuesday, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.